Hi everyone, it's William. We're in 1915 today, and our recap for the previous video, 1935, just a single paragraph, about 3 sentences from a speech that Dmitri gave. I don't have the entire speech, but interesting. He was talking about the Russian soul, something that he brings up once in a great while, not often. But yeah, and I kind of along the same lines, I watched a movie last night, thinking not even about Russian history, but just about whether I should recommend it to my nephew, who's very interested in cinematography, and the cinematography in it is just stunning. It is Sergei Eisenstein's 1938 movie, Alexander Nevsky, about a Russian hero who also became a saint, and the defense of the city of Novgorod from the Livonian Knights. And it was, I'm surprised Dmitri doesn't mention it, because it's just vastly superior to the Peter the Great movie, and it was made for the same reason. It's basically a story of Germans invading Russia, and Russians, instead of making a deal with them, saying, no, we'll fight to the last drop of blood. And, don't worry about the historical aspect of it, although the story of Alexander Nevsky and Novgorod is a very, very interesting one, but it's just a gorgeous film in every way. And if you do watch it, keeping in mind our friend and his patriotic assertions at that time, do yourself a favor and don't read the comments, because I was just appalled. I mean, it almost ruins the movie for me. It was just all these mentally ill Americans, with massive amounts of exclamation points, shouting, long live Russia, down with the West, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, very discouraging. Very discouraging, and things like, oh, the Germans will never change, and come on, wake up. Anyway, that's my rant of the day. What do we have? Well, what did we have for the last 1915 diary entry? Well, Dmitri contemplating the future, his future and Russia's, and looking for a Russian triumph to bring peace back to the world, not the sort of messianic peace where the whole world is in harmony, but just, the end of the war, basically. Our cast today, we have Maria Cook and Lodizhensky, the author of these sort of occult books that Dmitri was reading. Laming is largely missing. I mean, he was there. We know he was there because Dmitri does mention him here and there in passing, but Cook was the man of the hour. Cook was the one who Dmitri could apparently have really good conversations with when they went out on these strolls. Honestly, I don't think Laming was the sharpest tool in the shed. He had a very smart son who had a PhD in petroleum engineering or something like that. But Laming has never impressed me as having been a very smart or imaginative or active kind of man. Oh, well. All right. So we're done with January. We're up to the 1st/14th of February. It's Usovo, and things have suddenly gotten quite a bit warmer. It's actually above freezing, 1.5 degrees above freezing. Here in Portland in 2025, it's actually quite cool, which is why I'm wearing this sweater in August. But in January, in Usovo in 1915, the temperatures were going up. It was overcast, though, as it is here today, and a little windy. All right, here we go. I got up around 10 o'clock. I wanted to take a bath this morning, but I overslept. We had coffee together, then went for a walk. Naturally, we slid down the hill. Then I killed 2 jackdaws with a double shot. Their flock was flying across the river. We lunched at 1 o'clock. The Usovo priest was there. As always, he ate nothing and spoke kindly. In the afternoon, since we had already done enough sledding, we simply went for a walk, Maria, Cook, and I. We strolled for a little while and returned before 4 o'clock. I read until it was time for tea. The book is The Light Invisible. It's a continuation of Superconsciousness and is also by Lodiziensky. Tea was at 5 o'clock, after which we played Tiotka. Around midnight, we had tea. This is, of course, he had 5 o'clock tea, now he's having midnight tea, after which Cook and I took a walk. We returned to the hill, then strolled a little. Back at home, we had tea again, then went to bed. Wow, 3 times tea. Okay. Hopefully you didn't have to get up and go to the bathroom every 5 minutes, although, of course, tea doesn't necessarily involve actually drinking tea. All right, our friend Crow Killer is back. What was his problem with crows and with related birds? Jackdaws, if I understand correctly, look like little crows and are very closely related. And Dmitri just hates crows. Ravens, jackdaws, what have you. And I don't understand that. He and I could not be more opposite on that score because, as I've mentioned several times, I feed the crows every day. Anyway, I don't see why he disliked them so much. He went to the trouble of getting that stuffed owl to put in a tree at Usovo to either scare them away, which I hear is not really that effective, or bring them together. If they were mobbing the fake owl, then he could shoot at them. Maybe. I don't know what the idea behind that was. All right, The Light Invisible, as he says, is the next book after Superconsciousness. It was actually a trilogy. The final book is called Dark Forces, I believe. I don't know what The Light Invisible is about because I'm still making my way through Superconsciousness. So he so far isn't telling us anything about it. Maybe he never will because his life is about to become more complicated as he leaves Usovo. All right, Tiotka, of course, is a card game. And we have another midnight outing with Cook. This time they start out, it sounds like, doing some sledding. So maybe these walks were not all about sort of contemplating the universe. I don't know. I like to think they were. I was just thinking in relation to my own novel about Dmitri as I seek input from readers before I start making submissions, that one of the things I would like to say to people is whether or not you find Dmitri sympathetic as a protagonist. It's not what you think about him so much as what you think about the questions he asks through the course of the book. So, it's too bad that he wasn't, in 1915, already doing what he would do later, as far as he would write a daily, he didn't write them on the day, but he would write 10 diary entries in a row about day-to-day life, similar to this one, and then he would write a big, fascinating summary where he does talk about things like what he was thinking, what he was asking, what he was feeling. And yeah, it's really a pity that he's not doing that now, because he just rarely says. And we don't know, with Maria either. He's not doing much with her. He's not telling us if they're having any conversations about what's going on in Russia, about Ella, about anything. And if he was doing one of these long summary entries, we would know all about that. So it truly is a pity. All right, what do we have next time? Well, it will be his last day in Usovo, possibly forever. I don't know that he necessarily returned between January or February 1915 when he left and December 1916 when he was banished from Russia. He might have. Okay. We have Cook's departure, and we finally do have a little bit of brother and sister time. They finally are spending a little time with each other before they leave Usovo. All right, and in the next 1935 video, well, Dmitri will be responding from some pushback, apparently, from the emigre community about the things that he said in his June speech. We're now in September or October. I don't know the exact date, but the end of September, the beginning of October, and apparently his first speech really ruffled some feathers. So, I'm not getting many views on those. So, if you're watching the 1915 and not those, let me know how you feel about those. If you are watching those, let me know how you feel about those and whether I should, move on from the speeches and do something else. I think they're fascinating, but, I don't want to put stuff out there that people find boring or uninteresting. So trust me, I'm always open to constructive criticism. And yeah, hope to see you next time. Bye.